Hey, fellow adventurers. Welcome to Horizon Discover. I'm Ethan, your guide through the extraordinary and the mysterious. Today, we're going to talk about the world's most desperate border.
The border of North Korea.
Let's take a look at what the definition of a national border is. A national border is a dividing line between two countries or regions. So, the question is, why is the nation's border, which is not a ferocious beast, a demon, or an alien, so terrible that it would make the North Korean people so desperate? The answer is simple, because North Korea's borderline traps the North Korean people who want to pursue a better life. So now, I have bad news. North Korea spent the pandemic building a huge border wall. That's really too bad. Now, we can say that North Korea's borderline is the most desperate border in the world. Check this. And this. And this. Before COVID-19, the people of North Korea escaped from North Korea with what could be described as a narrow escape already. Right now, the difficulty was like, do you guys play video games? You can choose the difficulty of a video game, like easy, medium, hard, extreme, nightmare, and this guy, Stephen he created a new difficulty, that is, Asian. So I think, right now, the difficulty for the North Korean people to escape from North Korea should be described as Asian plus nightmare. It's really too bad and upsetting. Let me tell you why. During the pandemic, North Korea took significant measures by constructing an extensive border wall. The country's northern frontier had long served as a rare gateway to external information, trade opportunities, and a primary route for those seeking to escape. However, as the global pandemic unfolded in 2020, Kim Jong-un's regime initiated a massive effort to secure its borders with China and Russia, disrupting routes commonly used by smugglers and defectors. Subsequently, Pyongyang has erected hundreds of kilometers of new or enhanced border fences, walls, and guard posts, as indicated by commercial satellite imagery. This substantial infrastructure development aims to restrict the flow of information and goods into the country, fortify against foreign elements, and prevent the exodus of its citizens.
What a great purpose. What a great purpose.
Restrict the flow of information and goods into the country, fortify against foreign elements, and prevent the exodus of its citizens. The scale of this undertaking is evident in the imagery analyzed by Reuters and the US-based Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Monterey. Additionally, first-hand accounts from 7 defectors, activists, and individuals familiar with border activities corroborate the extensive nature of the project. The conventional North Korea-China route is effectively closed now, unless there is a significant change in the situation, stated Kim, a South Korean pastor actively involved in assisting North Korean defectors. Kim and others engaged in sensitive activities at the border have chosen to speak with partial or full anonymity, expressing concerns for their safety and a commitment to safeguarding their networks. According to official data, guess how it went? Only 67 defectors successfully reached South Korea last year, a stark contrast to the 1,047 in 2019. The decline in numbers predates the pandemic, attributed in part to heightened restrictions in China, the primary route chosen by defectors. North Korea's government and state media have remained tight-lipped about the border construction, and Reuters' attempts to reach the North Korean embassy in London for comments were unsuccessful. Nevertheless, official North Korean sources have acknowledged heightened security measures attributed to the need to ward off the coronavirus and other alien things. In a speech celebrating the triumph over COVID-19 last year, Kim Jong-un issued directives to officials, emphasizing the imperative to ensure perfection of a comprehensive blockade wall across border, frontline, coast areas, seas, and air. The border sealing is expected to have enduring consequences, affecting North Korea's emerging mercantile class and the towns where vibrant informal trade had previously provided opportunities, especially for women, to pursue independent economic activities. Benjamin Katsev-Silverstein, a non-resident fellow at the US-based Stimson Center specializing in North Korea's economy, pointed out that these towns have relied on both formal and informal trade since the 1990s famine and lack many other economic advantages. He noted, so the crackdowns are hitting 2 vulnerable groups, women and the population of the geographic periphery.
Oh my God, you can imagine what kind of life the people in the border areas of North Korea are living right now.
Reuters and Middlebury conducted an analysis using Google Earth Pro satellite imagery capturing North Korea's northern frontier at various intervals between 2019 and early 2023. Due to constraints like incomplete imagery, geographical features, and weather conditions, not all of the approximately 1,400 kilometers border with China and the 18 kilometers border with Russia could be thoroughly examined. This included around 353 kilometers for which updated imagery was unavailable. The examination focused on half a dozen key areas in detail, utilizing images from satellite operator Maxar Technologies Inc. The analysis revealed the presence of new or expanded security infrastructure along at least 489 kilometers of the border. This included simple wire fencing, robust concrete walls, double fencing, and additional guard posts, as highlighted by Middlebury Research associate Dave Schmerler. He pointed out that while other areas also displayed apparent changes, limitations in the available imagery prevented definitive determinations. Those defectors, human rights activists, and sources in China involved in smuggling goods or people across the border have indicated that the new security features are constricting economic lifelines for vulnerable people. These measures are closing paths of escape from the authoritarian country and further restricting North Koreans' access to outside information. Reuters is also in possession of some witness testimonies. For example, a defector working along the border in China revealed to Reuters that security cameras have been strategically placed at regular intervals, and multiple layers of fencing, including barbed wire and electric fencing, have been installed. His descriptions align with features visible in satellite imagery, as well as photos and videos he took from the Chinese side and shared with Reuters. He also mentioned that, while smugglers may sometimes manage to leave North Korea, it becomes nearly impossible for them to return, leaving a significant number of people stranded in China. The defector mentioned that additional specialized border troops have been deployed as guards on the North Korean side. In response to inquiries, China's foreign ministry stated to Reuters that it was not aware of the situation but emphasized that China and North Korea have been maintaining communication and working together to maintain the security and stability of the border. The Chinese Foreign Ministry's answer is as good as no answer at all, saying nice things but obviously perfunctory. Notably, North Korea has issued orders for border guards to shoot anyone attempting to cross, as indicated by official notices issued by Chinese authorities in 2020 that warned residents of the risks. Kim, the pastor, and human rights organizations have asserted that these orders to shoot remain in effect. This is also a sideways proof of how desperate the North Korean border is. The U.S. Treasury Department took action by sanctioning North Korea's Border Guard General Bureau for human rights abuses, citing concerns over landmines and shoot-on-sight orders that have resulted in the deaths of numerous North Koreans. But it is not known how much such sanctions can cure the despair of the North Korean people and how much hope they can bring to them. Perhaps the majority of the North Korean people do not even realize that they themselves need help, which makes us outsiders feel a bit desperate. What a great sadness in the world. There is a report, Human Rights Watch, based in the U.S., examined a 7.4-kilometer section of the border around Horian City on the Tumun River. This area, which already had substantial fencing and 5 watchtowers in 2019, saw further developments by April 2022. Authorities had constructed an additional 169 guard posts and more than 9 kilometers of new or improved fencing along that section. Wait a minute. 169 new guard posts have been built. I have to say, why did they build so many guard posts in the same small area? What's wrong with them? That's really sick. Lena Yoon, senior Korea researcher at Human Rights Watch, remarked, the North Korean government has been using COVID-19 as an excuse to build these new fences, guard posts, and other infrastructure. Yes, indeed, I couldn't agree with her more. There is another reason why Kim Jong-un has made the North Korean border more and more desperate, and that is that North Korea is facing international sanctions for developing nuclear weapons, and this sanction will lead to the deterioration of North Korea's economy even more, and the people's standard of living will drop from low to even lower, and then the people will inevitably try to find a way to escape. And even the sanctions against North Korea have led to the drastic decrease of international trade in both formal and informal trade, and even the soldiers in North Korea's army and the officers' economic conditions will deteriorate. Then Kim Jong-un will have to tighten his control over North Korea even more. Here we can see that a dictator will do everything he can to guard against his own army turning its guns on him. What a sad dictator. I wonder if Kim Jong-un lives in fear every day. I hope so. This desperate border will also bring about food shortages. Food shortages in North Korea have exacerbated in recent months, partially attributed to the border closures, as noted by international experts. Kim Jong-un called for a transformation in agriculture and emphasized the need to achieve grain production targets. This idiot is a f***ing genius for calling for food production goals while enacting policies that lead to the starvation of the North Korean people. So today, we talked about the world's most desperate border. North Korea is like a dumpling, the borderline is like the dumpling skin, the North Korean people are the dumpling filling, and I bet you know who the dumpling eater is. So let me ask, where do you live? How do you defend your rights so that the borders of your country do not become desperate? Maybe each of us needs to think about these questions more often so that we might not let our country's borders become as desperate as beasts, ghosts, or being taken by aliens. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, share. Your support encourages me to produce even more mysterious content, and we'll see you next time.